Hello everyone, and welcome to our presentation on exploring acids, bases, and salts. Today, we'll take a fascinating journey into the world of these important substances. The title of our session is Exploring Acids, Bases, and Salts. We'll be looking at how we perceive these substances through our senses, their natural and artificial sources, how indicators help us identify them, and the process of neutralization reactions. I'm excited to guide you through these fundamental chemistry concepts. So let's get started. Let's talk about how we can identify acids and bases based on how they feel and taste. When you touch a base, it often feels soapy, which is a common way to recognize it. Bases also tend to taste bitter, so if something tastes bitter and feels slippery, it's likely a base. On the other hand, acids usually feel sour. Think of the tangy sensation you get from citrus fruits. And acids taste sour, which is a quick way to tell them apart from bases. These sensory clues are helpful, but of course, we should always be cautious and avoid tasting unknown substances. Overall, understanding these characteristics helps us get a better grasp of the nature of acids and bases in our daily lives and in chemistry. Litmus paper is a simple but very useful tool for testing the acidity or basicity of a solution. When you dip it into a solution, it helps us quickly determine whether that solution is acidic or basic. The key idea here is that acids will turn blue litmus paper red, and bases will turn red litmus paper blue. This color change is what makes litmus paper such an effective indicator of pH levels. You might notice the pH indicator on the slide, with the numbers 1, 2, and 3. They represent different pH levels, with lower numbers being more acidic and higher numbers more basic. So when you test a solution, if the litmus paper turns red, it indicates acidity, and if it turns blue, it indicates alkalinity or basicity. This simple test is quick and provides an essential insight into the nature of the solution you're working with. Overall, litmus paper is a fundamental tool in chemistry for measuring pH, and understanding how it reacts helps us better grasp the properties of acids and bases. Now let's take a look at some of the natural acids that occur in everyday foods. First, we have lactic acid, which is found in yogurt. This acid is responsible for the tangy flavor and also plays a role in the fermentation process. Then, there's citric acid, which is abundant in citrus fruits like lemons, limes, and oranges. You might recognize it from the tartness that makes these fruits so refreshing. These natural acids are important not only for their flavor, but also for their roles in food preservation and digestion. Understanding these acids helps us appreciate the natural chemistry behind the foods we enjoy daily. Now let's take a look at some of the widespread commercial uses of acids and bases. For example, bleach, which many of us use regularly, is actually a strong base. This highlights how bases play a crucial role in cleaning products and other industries. Similarly, ammonia, another common compound, is also a base and is widely used in cleaning solutions and manufacturing processes. Moving beyond natural acids and bases, we also have artificial acids and bases that are engineered for specific industrial applications. Understanding these uses helps us see how fundamental acids and bases are in everyday products and industrial processes, tying back to the overall importance of chemistry in our daily lives. Indicators help us determine the acidity of a solution. They are special substances that change color depending on whether the solution is acidic or basic. For example, China rose turns pink when it's in an acid. That's a clear visual cue we can use to identify acidic conditions. On the other hand, turmeric behaves differently. It turns red when it's in a base, showing us when a solution is alkaline. These reactions are fundamental because they allow us to easily identify the pH level of various substances. Throughout this presentation, we're exploring how indicators serve as useful tools in chemistry, helping us understand the nature of different solutions quickly and accurately. Let's take a closer look at what happens during neutralization reactions. First off, these reactions release heat, which means they are exothermic. This heat release is a key indicator of the chemical change taking place. When acids react with bases, the products formed are typically salt and water. This is the essence of what we call an acid-base reaction. So to summarize, neutralization reactions involve acids and bases coming together to produce salt and water, and in the process, they release heat. Understanding this helps us see how these reactions are not only important in chemistry, but also in practical applications like buffers and industrial processes. So here we see that many common household items share a basic chemical foundation. For example, baking soda is a versatile substance that can neutralize ant bites, helping to soothe the skin and reduce irritation. Then we have vinegar, which is often used to relieve indigestion by balancing stomach acidity. And of course, antacids are everyday medicines that work through similar chemical reactions to neutralize excess stomach acid. What's really interesting is how these everyday chemical reactions are all interconnected, showing us that chemistry isn't just something that happens in a lab, it's part of our daily lives. Recognizing this common base helps us understand the practical importance of chemistry in managing common health issues and household problems. It's a great example of how a basic chemical principle underpins many of the solutions we rely on every day. Let's talk about why neutralization is so essential in different contexts. First, it plays a crucial role in chemical reactions, where it helps facilitate various processes that are fundamental to chemistry. You can think of it as the backbone that keeps these reactions working smoothly. Next, neutralization is used in agricultural practices. Farmers often need to adjust soil pH to promote healthy crop growth, and neutralization helps in balancing the acidity or alkalinity of the soil, making it more suitable for plants. Now, why is balancing pH so important? Well, whether it's in our bodies or in the environment, maintaining the right pH level is key to overall health and stability. For example, in the human body, neutralization helps balance pH, ensuring our systems function correctly. So, in summary, neutralization is vital because it supports chemical reactions, improves agricultural productivity, and maintains the pH balance necessary for health and environmental stability. It's a fundamental concept that connects many aspects of science and daily life. Now, let's talk about some important safety precautions to keep in mind when working with acids and bases. First, always handle acids and bases carefully. These substances can be very corrosive and can cause serious injuries if not managed properly. Being cautious and deliberate in your handling helps prevent accidents. Next, it's essential to wear protective gear. Always put on gloves and goggles before working with these chemicals. Gloves protect your skin from splashes, while goggles shield your eyes from any splashes or fumes. Safety gear is your first line of defense, so never skip this step. Finally, knowing first aid for reactions is crucial. In case of an accidental spill or contact, knowing what to do quickly can make a significant difference. Be prepared and familiar with first aid procedures to respond effectively and keep yourself safe. Remember, these precautions are all about minimizing risks and ensuring a safe working environment as part of our overall safety culture. Neutralization is a really important concept in everyday life and in chemistry. It's the process where acids and bases react to cancel each other out, leading to a neutral solution. Understanding this process helps us grasp how substances interact and maintain balance in biological systems and industrial applications. Now, when we talk about indicators, these are essential tools that help us identify whether a solution is acidic, basic, or neutral. Think of indicators as chemical detection devices that change color depending on the pH level of the solution. They're crucial because they give us visual clues about the nature of a substance. Moving on, acids and bases are actually opposites. Acids release hydrogen ions, or H+, in solution, making things more acidic. Bases, on the other hand, release hydroxide ions, OH, which make the solution more basic or alkaline. This opposition is fundamental to understanding how neutralization works. To summarize, acids and bases are two sides of the same coin. They have opposite properties, but can react with each other to produce neutral solutions. This balance is key not only in chemistry, but also in many real-world processes, from digestion to cleaning. Recognizing these relationships helps us better understand the broader theme of chemical interactions and the importance of maintaining balance in various systems. All right, let's talk about the neutralization process. This is a key chemical reaction where an acid and a base combine to form water and a salt, effectively canceling each other out. When acids and bases meet, they react to produce neutral substances, which is why understanding this process is so important in chemistry. Now, moving on to how indicators work. Indicators are substances that change color depending on the pH level of the solution. They help us identify whether a solution is acidic, neutral, or basic. Think of them as pH detectives. They give us visual clues about the acidity or alkalinity of a substance. In this slide, you'll notice the numbers 3, 2, and 1, which relate to the strength of acids and bases. The lower the number, the stronger the acid or base. This ties into our overall theme of understanding chemical reactions and how we can measure and interpret them. Finally, the mention of sour and bitter tastes is a quick reminder. Acids tend to taste sour, like lemon juice, while bases often taste bitter, like baking soda. And that wraps up this part. We'll now move on to review questions to reinforce what we've covered. Let's talk about how we can make science learning more practical and engaging. Utilizing kits is a fantastic way to explore science hands-on. These kits allow us to experiment and see scientific concepts in action, making learning more interactive and memorable. Next, we have access to a wide range of educational videos online. These videos are great for visual learners and can help clarify complex ideas through demonstrations and animations. Engaging in fun and educational experiments at home is another effective way to learn. They not only reinforce what we learn theoretically, but also keep us curious and motivated. And finally, there are additional resources available for learning beyond kits and videos. These supplementary materials can deepen our understanding and provide new perspectives on scientific topics. All of these tools, kits, videos, experiments, and extra resources, are connected by the overall goal of making science more accessible, enjoyable, and practical for everyone.